Welcome to another episode of the Bamature Hour. I am Bama John. We're going to preview the Alabama-Oklahoma football game on Saturday. Then we're going to preview the Purdue-Alabama hoops game that's on Thursday night. Big week of sports here in Tuscaloosa. We're excited about it. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, in the year of our Lord. Thank you for tuning in. We now have over 6,100 subscribers to the YouTube channel, growing, headed to 10,000. Come on, like, subscribe. Follow us wherever you access the podcast, or if you access us on the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notify button. Today, I'm joined by G Money and I'm joined by Will K. Thanks, guys, for jumping on here. Big week in sports, guys. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
There's some games this week.
Starting with tomorrow night, guys, but we'll talk football first. We'll do the football. We're going to do it in reverse chronological order. We're going to do the big money game with Oklahoma coming in here, guys. Chance to clinch our playoff berth. So a lot at stake. And if we lose, backs against the wall.
Yep.
Yeah. There's like you're saying, John, there's a lot at stake. And we have been playing recently when there's a lot at stake pretty well.
We're money. We are G Money.
Yep. Yeah. Let's not get crazy.
I do love the fact that they've been in tight games. They've had a chance to wilt. They've had a chance to fold, particularly at South Carolina, and they stepped up. Missouri was tight. Georgia was tight. I love this team. I really love this team. I love the fight in them. I love that they don't quit. I'm excited to see what happens Saturday, 2:30 Central Time, 3:30 Eastern Time on Saban Field in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Coming into it 8-1, 6-0 in the SEC, guys. I mean, after that Florida State loss, I'm like, how are we gonna, get to 10-2, and here we're sitting at 8-1, and we're right on the doorstep. So let's kick that door open. Let's get in there. Let's get the 9-1, and or rather, I guess we're 9-1 right now. What am I saying? Yeah, we're not. No, 8-1. I'm sorry. I'm counting that Eastern Illinois as a check mark win. But you get this win, surely we're going to beat Eastern Illinois. We'll get to 10-1. We'll be good to go. All right. Let's talk about this Oklahoma team. Guys, throw out your thoughts on the Oklahoma team and the challenge we got coming up on Saturday.
They looked better at the start of the year, and then Mateer got hurt. He's looked a little shaky ever since he's had that surgery on his hand. Ole Miss went in there and put up 34 on them, I think, at home. They didn't look great against Texas, but they did look pretty good against Tennessee the other week in Knoxville. I think that's the first team to beat Tennessee in Knoxville and not named Georgia in a long time. They have a really good defense. If we don't put in AK Deer, which I'll get to later, we might have trouble running the ball. And if we go into Jordan-Hare, what would it be, 9-2? Me and Luke were talking about this yesterday. When was the last time Alabama played at Jordan-Hare where either we didn't win or we won by the skin of our teeth? When was the last time it wasn't either really close or we lost in Jordan-Hare?
I don't know. Do you know the answer to that question?
I think it's 2015. Jake Coker and Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry toted the ball 48 times that game, which is not going to happen this time.
Because Derrick Henry's not walking through that door.
No,
I wish he was.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, and Auburn has, they've lost a lot, but they've been losing just barely. They're not getting blown out by people. Barely lost to Missouri, Georgia, all these other teams. So they're playing teams close and might be in trouble. So this is a big win.
Yeah, I mean, you look at I agree with everything Will K just said, but I mean, you look at our common opponents, Tennessee, South Carolina. I mean, they beat South Carolina 26-7. Mateer may have been out that game, but Auburn. I mean, they've had some they've had some decent wins. They've got some good players. I mean, in some ways, this is similar to our assignment against LSU, except I think Oklahoma's defense is better than LSU, and LSU has a good defense, and they have a much more mobile quarterback, which that traditionally has given us a little bit of a challenge. I think we've been handling those challenges pretty well this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the mobile quarterback is the biggest thing that's always gets me worried. Is Mateer can definitely take off and run the ball. He's turnover prone, which I like that. Maybe we can bait him into throwing some picks, but we've got to be very disciplined because he will tuck the ball and run, and he's very good at it. So we got that dual threat, which we didn't have to worry. That was really nice not to have to worry about with Nussmeier. We put a beat down on him, and then they yanked him. Van Buren, I mean, that was good preparation to have to face Van Buren in the second half because he was mobile. He made some good passes. So I thought it was a good warm up, and defense played well, as we talked about. So I'm optimistic that we can deal with Oklahoma's defense because that Auburn game, Auburn could have won that game. But Auburn's defense held Oklahoma in check. But Jackson Arnold had wide open receivers and couldn't hit them. And Jackson Arnold, he's since been benched. And you saw what happened when they benched Jackson Arnold and threw the ball to Cam Coleman, and they go to Vanderbilt and give Vanderbilt fits. That was a wild game.
Yeah.
So I think we can handle that, but I do think Oklahoma's defense is better. LSU's got a good defense. I think Oklahoma's a little bit higher level. I think it's, they're the best. To me, they're the best. Texas and Oklahoma, I think, have the two best defenses in the SEC. And we faced some really good defenses, but this is the best defense that we'll face. But it is a great test for the playoffs. If we want to win a natty, we got to be able to score points on this defense. We're going to find out. So I'm excited about that. To me, it's our good on their good. And meaning I think our offense versus their defense is they're both elite, although we don't have a good running game. Fortunately, our defense has been playing better because I was going to say it's their bad on our bad, but it's really their, I'd say, mediocre offense against our good defense. So I like the opportunity to win here, but I'm nervous about it. This one, I guess because we're so close to kicking that door in and qualifying for the playoffs, it makes me nervous.
You can almost taste it, John. It's just right there. Well, how nervous were you? Remind the audience how nervous you were about the LSU game.
I was nervous. I was nervous.
You're just always nervous. You're
nervous Nelly.
You just never know what's going to happen. You just always have to be on your heels. You feel like they're going to come back. Something's going to happen at least until like the last 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter and we have the ball. That's when I'm like, okay, it's over.
Well, and the game I've been most nervous about was South Carolina, and it turned out for good reason. But they've got some dogs on defense. Oklahoma does, not just Venables and his coaching prowess. They've got some dogs. I mean, that R. Mason Thomas is their fast twitch defensive lineman. He's, I think, got 6.5 or 7 sacks on the year. I mean, he's sort of their Yanze.
Well, David Stone is a dog too. That linebacker, that guy. He's the one that. Did you all see after Ole Miss beat Oklahoma? Then when Kiffin said, "Yeah, you're not talking now," and then he goes, "That guy's the best player on the field, and he's going to be playing on Sundays."
Yeah.
But David Stone, he's a dog. And Venable's a great defensive coach, to your point, Gary. But he's got to have dogs to make it work.
Well, and he does. That's kind of my point. But I will say this. So, we talked about our prediction on LSU was Alabama would not run the ball 100 yards. What's the number that's interesting to debate this game? 70? I mean,
60?
Unless we get an explosive
60?
play, it may be 60.
Yeah.
It may be. I wonder what the over-under is on 60 yards of rushing.
And I wonder what the over-under is on Ty's passing yards as well. 260, 270, 280.
Well, he got 277 against LSU, and he gave the offense a C. So we need to do, I guess, probably do a little bit better than a C level. If he scores let's say we score 3 touchdowns. That's probably going to be enough. I mean, we keep overshooting. Well, okay, you weren't here the last episode. We're talking about we keep overshooting these 45, 35 kind of predictions, and it's like, no, 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 no. It's right around high 20s and, low 20s or teens or whatever. I think if we score 3 touchdowns, we'll win the game and put a field goal in there too.
Right, and put a field goal up. Yep. Will, thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, we keep talking about how good our offense is and everything, but we haven't put up like, 2000, 17, 18 Oklahoma numbers, with Baker Mayfield. We're not putting up 40 and 50 every game. We're putting up 27, 28, low 30s. We beat Georgia 24-21. We're keeping the games in the 20s. Yeah, I think Mateer's hand, he hasn't been the same since. I think, if we score 28, I don't think that they'll score more than that.
Well, I feel real good if we can get to 28 that it's game over.
Yeah.
And they are turnover prone, which can help us. Ty has been under a lot of pressure. He's seen fierce defenses. He's been on the road. We're going to be at home. I have confidence in him not to pull a Milrow and turn the ball over and throw pick sixes and, miss receivers. I think it's funny that last game was the worst game he's played, and yet we still won 20-9. And his numbers were good.
It was just an ugly good.
Yeah.
I mean, to the extent you can have good numbers and an ugly game, he kind of had that. Venables, if anybody's going to prepare, you can put Kirby in that same boat though. Those are two guys that can study film, look at our personnel, and come up with a great defensive game plan. I just think that with our scheme, I would love our offensive line to be playing a little bit better, honestly. But with our scheme, it's hard to hold us to less than 20, 25 points. It's just very difficult to do.
Well, and Gary, you and I talked about this last time with Rick. Will, you missed this fun discussion? But I think our offense is really good at chewing clock, getting us a lead, and then we kind of dial it back. We don't feel an urgency to just keep pouring it on. And then when it gets close, we do enough to just win the game. And so we're very good at not shooting ourselves in the foot. Ty's able to put these drives together when we need them and get us the points that we do. And that's why I think our offense is so good, but they don't do stupid stuff trying to pour it on. And it's almost like Grubb dials it back a little bit when we've got leads. And then when it gets close, then he starts dialing up these plays, and Ty's able to execute it. The receivers are able to do it. Running backs, even though they're not great at running the ball, are able to be effective out of the backfield catching passes. I've seen that, and this is going to be a great test. Can we continue to do that? That's the trend. I love our trend.
We're ballers.
Our 2-minute offense looks really good. I don't know why we don't run that the whole game. Every time we get the ball with like 2 minutes left, we score.
Well, it's similar to the St. John's game in basketball when we had all that pressure in the last 6, 7 minutes of the game in MSG. We just went on that run, and it just seems like, John, to your point, that and this is one of the signs of a great team. We do what we have to do when we have to do it. And so we may not be putting up 45, but I mean, we're racking up the dubs against really good teams. It's almost like, well, sorry if our production's messing up betting markets, but we're winning, and Ty's showing he's a champion, man. He's even when he does it ugly, John, that was a great point. Even when he does it ugly, he's still doing it. Like, we were shocked, I think, in the instant reaction or post game or whatever, like, man, he had almost 300 yards. That's really good offensive production against a pretty good defense.
Yeah, when I watched that game, I felt like he maybe had 200 yards of passing. I knew he didn't throw any interceptions, but I didn't realize he had two.
He had a few long balls to Latzier and Jeremy, and it adds up.
Well, and is someone going to step up in a running back core this? And I'm gonna say you can include little screens and flares. who's going to step up? I'm missing some of that early season juice from Kevin Riley. We've talked about and AK. Where's AK? You mentioned him, Will K. Where is?
That's
Get
what
him
I'm
in there,
saying.
Will K.
I've heard some rumors that they're working him in, and we may see AK in some packages. So I've heard that. I'd like to see it. I hope he's
I don't
ready to
care
do
about
it.
his pass blocking. I don't care. We need to run the ball.
Well, even if they know when he's in it, maybe a little screen or running play. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
You
What
got
about
to
a
do
little flare?
something.
What about a little flare screen? Get him out in space and let him roll. And I love Daniel Hill in those roles. He's come up big in the pass game. He scored multiple times in the pass game. And hey, he did get that ball in the end zone, right? He got that 4-yard run in the end zone. Jam
I still
couldn't
don't
do
think
it.
he's running the ball great.
Well, there's an old saying that if you keep doing the definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Right.
Look, our offensive line is what it is. They keep trying different combinations. I understand that. And there's some position battles. That's fine. We're going to just keep doing what we're doing. But what we can do differently is we had some of these guys that broke out some explosive plays early in the season, and now they've been AWOL. Maybe they're in the doghouse. Maybe it's pass pro. Will K, like you're saying, they're not doing their fundamentals in practice. But when you're running 2.3 yards per rush, try something different, right? What am I
Yeah,
missing?
I agree.
Well,
That's why I
I
think
don't
we
want to
should
get
put
to
in AK
second.
Deer.
I don't want to get to 2nd and 3 and be going for it on 4th and 1 with 3 consecutive running plays, and we can't pick that
I
first
mean,
down up.
love Jam Miller. He was
Woo!
better last year for whatever reason, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he just does not look decisive back there. It looks like he just runs into a wall and then he falls down. I mean, I don't know. His biggest run this year was called back against South Carolina.
Yeah, it's almost with Jam. It's like, okay, if this was like a Mr. Universe contest, because I mean, the guy's just ripped and stacked and all that kind of stuff. But you're absolutely right. He's had some indecision and he's never really been explosive. Let's be honest. I mean, he's not explosive compared to some of the backs we have faced, and we're facing that. What's his name? Torrey Blaylock on Oklahoma. He's kind of an emerging running back. He's built very similar to Cedric Alexander, who busted a 65,
Yeah.
sort of that 5'10", 5'11", 205 frame, very explosive. I'd like to define our sort of victory or a good result on our running defense if we can just not have any chunk plays. And we can define them however we want, but this is the kind of game where if you allow a Cedric Alexander type player to bust a 65-yard run, that might be the difference in the game. Like
Yeah.
if that sets up a quick score or whatever, we got to try to prevent that, and I think we will.
Yeah, if we let them jump up on us by 10 or 14, it's going to be tough to come back against them if they get a 2-score lead. So we can't have that happen. And to your point, Gary, the big danger of that happening is we give up the chunk play. We get misaligned, guys miss a tackle. They don't do what they're supposed to do. You don't set the edge, but they don't seem to have some of the playmakers that we've seen from other teams. I don't think they have elite wide receivers. Jaden Ott was supposed to be the big transfer they brought in as a running back. He hadn't done a lot. To your point, Torrey Blaylock, they've got a lot of hope in him, but maybe he's their AK Deer kind of guy that they're thinking, yeah, they see a lot of potential, but he hasn't put together a 200-yard rushing game or even a 150-yard rushing game. He hasn't had that big game yet. So let it not be against us. Let's not let that happen. I think if we can keep Mateer under control, keep some pressure on him, put a spy on him, but not do crazy blitzes where we're blitzing 7 guys and a guy's running free and we get burned, I think we're good. I want that true bend but don't break, really tighten it up in the red zone. And then, hey, if they settle for field goals, I'm good with that. I'm good with giving them 4 or 5 field goals.
Well, if we can put Oklahoma in a position where they're one-dimensional, we are going to be one-dimensional. Hey, newsflash, people, we're going to be one-dimensional. But
That's right.
if we can make this a Mateer against Ty with the weapons that we have compared to the weapons that they have, I love our chances. If they start breaking some runs, we're going to be in trouble, I think. We got to stop the run.
Yeah. Yeah. We just need to hold them under 20. I feel good if we can hold them under 20.
And it's not reported on enough. Our defense has been playing pretty good. Um, um, I feel like we give up like a lot of yards, but we have a very, very good red zone defense. We don't give up many touchdowns. We stop them to field goals. We cause a lot of turnovers, a lot of red zone turnovers. I think the most we've given up this year was Florida State. And that's the only time we've given up over 30, and we've played some pretty good offenses.
Yeah, you're just
Uh,
trying to butter up the host. He's got the bend but don't break mantra
well,
going down. That's what
I
he does.
think we're better than just don't even bend.
Yeah.
I don't think Oklahoma has a prolific offense. Lincoln Riley's not there anymore. So Yanze
Hey, here's
Pierre,
some numbers, Will, to your point. So we've had, and again, we had a game where we scored 73 points. So you got to realize it's a little bit inflated by that. And in that same game, we held Louisiana Monroe to 0. We shut them out, but we're averaging 33 points a game. OU's averaging 29 points a game. I think if you boil this down to SEC, the numbers wouldn't be quite so inflated, but still, we're averaging 33. They're averaging 28. We're only giving up 17 points a game. And Oklahoma's giving up 14 points a game. So, a little bit. But in terms of the margin, we're outscoring them, which we'd expect. Our offense is better than theirs, but their defense is more elite than ours. So they're holding them down a little bit. Yards per game, we're giving up 400. They're 373 in terms of, yards per game on that. And then on the passing, the yards per game, we're actually putting 400 yards per game up, and we're allowing 300. They're actually allowing 373, which is mostly through the air. Or they're putting up 373 and they're allowing 264. So our defensive numbers aren't that different from theirs across the board. They're much better against the run, but they're weak against the pass. But it's really that turnover margin, guys. We don't turn the ball over, and they do. And their takeaways are not that great. They've only got 7 takeaways for such an elite deep. Now, they have a lot of sacks, but they
how
don't
many
have a lot of
takeaways do we
takeaways.
have? I feel like we have a lot of.
We've got 16 takeaways. If you look at fumbles and interceptions, we've
Yeah, I
only
feel like
turned the
we
ball
caused a
over
lot of
6
turnovers.
times.
Yeah.
And those statistics inform the line. It's gonna be a close game. I think it's Bama by 6.5 the last time I looked. So you plug and play those, and you give maybe what, a 3-4 point advantage to us by being on Saban Field at Bryant-Denny, and there you
Yes.
go. I mean, it's a less than a touchdown kind of game, and we didn't cover at LSU or against LSU. This game, I think we're going to win the game, but this game has the potential of being an anxiety provoking within the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yes, I'm like most games.
Well, I don't
I
know, the
guess
last 5
Tennessee
minutes
wasn't.
LSU,
LSU really
certainly
wasn't.
South Carolina. South
South
Carolina's in the
Carolina.
last, what, minute 28?
Woo, woo. Yeah, with 10 minutes to go, guys, I was pacing. I couldn't sit down and watch that game. I was pacing around. I was nervous as
Yeah,
all get out. So,
Will K,
yeah,
were you there at South Carolina?
I was not. No.
Okay. Okay.
he threatened to go, but then he backed off.
It's the only game I've been to this year is the game that we lost. I never went back.
You're not allowed in the stadium until after the national championship game.
Yeah, I'll just go to basketball.
So, being at home is going to be a big help. And I do really think we may have done some Oklahoma prep while we were prepping for LSU. I think given the disarray with LSU and also given the fact that Oklahoma ruined our season last year, I think there's a big motivation, just like Vanderbilt, there's a big motivation for this game. These guys know what's at stake. They do not want to stub their toe or, break an ankle because of what happened last year. They want to win this. So, and I'm sure DeBoer, I'm sure Kane Womack, and I'm sure Ryan Grubb, even though he wasn't on staff last year, is like, we can't let that happen again. And I love that Ryan Grubb came out and told Brent Venables, he said, Brent Venables, we changed our signals.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Well, you
So,
got to realize that Oklahoma is still in the playoff race too.
mhm.
So
Oh
they're
yeah,
they're
no,
they're
it's
gonna
a
be
it's a
fine.
playoff elimination game for them. For us, it's a playoff clinching game. For them, it's an elimination game. So they're highly motivated. I agree with you, Will. Highly motivated.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so how, if you look at the difference between where we stand today in terms of Oklahoma and some of the preseason hype, my question is how dangerous is Mateer? Um, and you mentioned the injury, Will K, and he hasn't looked the same since. But this is the same guy that he was what, top three preseason Heisman, has all this talent, has some mobility. I think our defense is going to pressure him a good bit. But how dangerous is he? Could he have a big game against us? I think it's
Oh, sure, he could.
unlikely, but I
He
don't think it's
definitely could.
impossible.
I look at the Ole Miss game, and they gave up 34 to Ole Miss. Now, Ole Miss has a pretty good offense, but this was in Oklahoma, in Norman. Um, I think we're better than Ole Miss, right? I think we have a better defense, and that was at home, so that gives me a little hope. We're DeBoer's 2-0 in revenge games. We're at home. It's homecoming. All the signs point towards, and it's a ranked team, and it's not a double-digit line. So all the signs are pointing towards us winning, but who knows?
I think I know what DeBoer's going to be wearing.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Like,
That
John,
as
is it
well.
coming?
You got to get all the mojo.
Yeah.
DeBoer,
Ah, boy.
DeBoer.
And,
We
well,
are
no,
we are
weather's going to
fans
be
of DeBoer. Did
the
you
weather's
like
going
my
to be perfect
Thanksgiving
too.
video, by the way?
What's that?
Have you watched the Thanksgiving video I sent you yet of the Bears?
I have not. I have not had time to breathe, man.
Yeah, you got to watch that. It's by the time Thanksgiving comes, you really need to do that.
Is it the old SNL
It's the
stuff?
SNL
Oh yeah.
Thanksgiving episode with the Bears.
Oh man, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But
I think that we're motivated, we're focused, guys want to, and this team's chemistry. I mean, we're different than last year's team. We just are.
yeah.
We've got a different leader. John, I can't overemphasize your point about the turnover differential, just because it wasn't just the effect of, a couple of Milrose turnovers killing us in the game. It was that prospect that we all knew that could happen at any time. Like at the beginning of the game, we'd be like, is this going to be one of those games, or are we going to pull this thing out? And we're more relaxed with Ty. I think as a team, as a fan base, probably as a coaching staff, it's like, okay, things happen, forced fumbles, all that kind of stuff. But his decision making, execution in these small, short, intermediate route, it just takes an element of risk away. And boy, does it feel good to have that off the table.
Yeah, and Milrow, he would get strip sacked a ton too. And Ty Simpson, he has a few games, one against Tennessee and then South Carolina and last week actually. So, but only one interception though
Which is
through
amazing.
9 games, one.
And Milrow threw
That's
that
pretty
pick six.
impressive.
Milrow threw the pick six against Oklahoma, and it's like, what are you seeing? He just didn't see the field that well.
And then he threw another one and they were already in the red zone. That game was single-handedly lost by him. Single-handedly.
Well,
Did y'all
the
see my
referees
low-key
screwed
product placement?
us. Oh, Coke, I love it.
Yeah, we need the Coca-Cola company buying
Oh.
some ads on YouTube.
There we go. But
Yeah, I
and
doubt that will happen this year.
Ryan Williams
Last
had a
year,
touchdown call back. If you
he
guys
had two
remember that.
touchdowns called back.
Yeah.
Two. And, some other stuff, but everything went right for Oklahoma. And they pretty much put the nail in our in the coffin. Now they would put a dent in it this year if they beat us, but it wouldn't be a nail.
It would be it would be rough. We'd be reeling and then having to get ready to go to Auburn.
It's not like we have to go. I mean, Auburn, it's always scary, but you still think we beat them, right? I mean, you were always think, oh, there's just voodoo and everything. I mean, they're still Auburn. They don't have their coach. They still suck. But there's just the prospect. There's just the prospect that we could lose.
All right, we're not going to talk about the Auburn scenario yet.
No.
Let's don't go down that road.
Just saying.
But I will pose one quick question. You don't have to answer it out loud, but could Ty make the gravedigger throw? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think he's that type of quarterback.
Let's don't talk about those scenarios.
It's
Focus
fun.
on
You
the
guys,
spoons,
you're
baby.
gonna give me the heart attack. All right, let's do our factors that we like to go through. Okay. Here's number one. John Mateer versus Ty Simpson. Who do you give the edge to, quarterback?
Not a close one, even Ty. I think.
Yeah, Ty Simpson.
I'm with you guys, Ty. I respect the fact that Mateer's a dual threat quarterback. I think he's going to be a tough customer. We got to be prepared for him, but Ty is better, no doubt. And this one, I always ask it, can Kane's defense stop and limit Mateer and do enough to allow Alabama to beat Oklahoma?
They can. It just seems like, like the very first drive with, our defense, it's like we give up so many yards. It's like, Kane, what are we doing, man? And then they get down there and they like either kick a field goal or miss one. And it's like, okay, all right. And then it's like somehow we got out of that. Like we don't give up many points, but like they go down the field though, you know what I mean? But Yanze Pierre has like 6 sacks, so let's hope he can do it. So I like him, so I'll say yes.
Quay may be back too. We may have Quay Russaw, so we may get to throw him in the mix. But I'm feeling good, not overly confident, but I'm feeling good about the defense. Gary, I've finally come around, but I think they've improved too. I really do. I think the players have gotten better. I think Kane's tightened up his schemes. Guys aren't getting out of position nearly as much. We can do it. And I don't think this Oklahoma offense is not the Lincoln Riley Oklahoma offenses. Now, their defenses are a lot better. Brent Venables, I mean, he's a beast on defense, but
Yes.
I'm confident.
I still think I'd like to play the Lincoln Riley defenses though.
Hey, I agree with you.
On that.
Mm.
All right, Bama O-line versus the Oklahoma D-line. Who do we give the edge to?
Boomer Sooner, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yep. I think till we prove we can run the ball. Now, hopefully pass pro will be good. But, yeah, they got a fierce defense and a fierce line, and our O-line's mediocre.
Get Cuevas out there to chip or something.
Yeah.
And it's aggravating that we have these blind spots, I mean, it's like, can we put it all together one time? Because if we could, there may be one team in the country that could beat us.
Yeah.
Meaning the Buckeyes?
Meaning the Buckeyes. But I'm not saying they could, but just saying if you look at our personnel, if we could live up to our potential on offensive line, that would be wonderful. Hadn't happened yet.
So let me ask this to your point, Gary. What do you think our best performance was this season? Because I don't think we've had our A performance where everybody's played at an A level. I think all these wins we have, okay, maybe the offense had, like at Georgia, had an A performance in the first half, but the second half, And the
Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean Wisconsin or Louisiana Monroe, but those are, let's say SEC. What was our best performance in the SEC?
In terms of the offensive line specifically?
Just our team as a whole. What game would you say? Tennessee. So, Will, you think Tennessee was our best performance?
I like how we responded in Missouri so much, though. I mean, just the huge throw. I love that effort, and that was a tough place to play.
But I wouldn't call it an A performance overall. And that's the thing.
I told you Wisconsin. I gave you the answer.
Yeah.
It's not a very good opponent.
I would have said La Monroe, but 73-0. But I mean that wasn't a high level D1 program. So
let's say first half of Georgia too.
Yeah. First half of Georgia was great. But
It always seems to be a tale of two halves with Georgia. It feels like one half we play amazing, whether that be the first or the second, then the other one we played terrible, and it always ends up being a close game. But yeah, maybe Georgia or Tennessee.
but the Tennessee game, it was like the last play of the half was a 14-point swing, and that flipped the
He
game.
made a play on the ball. I
He
mean,
did. I
there
know.
was
I'm
nothing
just saying
lucky about it.
it was like thin margins have made a huge difference for this team. And I
And
felt like last year thin margins crushed us.
Scored 37 points. I mean, we scored two more times in the second half.
Yeah.
I was going to add that Kane got credit and should get credit for that pick six.
He knew.
Our DBs weren't even the fake run, all that. They were just like watching the quarterback the whole time.
They read their keys. They stayed in position and did what they needed to. I mean, great play, but it's just thin margin. And then he breaks the tackle on the interception. You know, that guy got his ankle and he broke the tackle because had he fallen down, then it would have ended the half. And instead of being a 14-point
Every
flip, it
game
was a
starts with a
7.
slim margin, and every game starts 0-0. So I mean, you got to make the plays to extend the lead, and that's what we did.
Yeah, but Lyman Rowe was not a thin margin game.
Well, I'm talking about
We
Tennessee.
destroyed them.
I'm talking about Tennessee.
Yeah. And like Vanderbilt was a close game, and then we got that nice touchdown at the end to extend the lead. But
Yeah.
Well, and I never understand the math. You get a pick six like that, and you get you got a wide receiver kind of closing it at an angle, catching them. And other than maybe Jamison Williams, we've never had anybody that can just burn anybody in a few years. So that was a good tackle to break.
yeah.
That would have been 0 points if he had gotten put down.
But that's the thing about this team is our dog. We have that dog in us. We're able to exploit those thin margins and get the win. And I love that about this team. And last year, it's like, what are y'all doing on the road? Did we lose Will? I think we lost Will.
All right,
There you are.
happened.
Oh, you went dark on us for a minute, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. So we give the Oklahoma D line, we put the check mark in their favor. How about the Oklahoma O line versus the Bama D line?
I haven't really watched, or I have watched them, but I haven't watched. Nobody watches their offensive line. I mean, you do, but unless you're a scout or a defensive analyst, I'm not watching their offensive line when I'm watching a game. You know, um, but from what I see from our defensive line, I'll have to give us the edge because I like Yanze Pierre. LT Overton's been good. I think we've gotten better at stopping the run the past few weeks. I know LSU can't really run the ball that well, but still didn't give up 10, 12-yard runs, so I'll give it to us.
Yeah, I agree with Will K. I think we give Bama D line the nod. You didn't even mention Tim Keenan or London Simmons. We just got
James Smith.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was just talking about more the edge of getting sacks, getting to the quarterback.
I'm just thinking about
sure.
who's going to win in that line of scrimmage, whether it's pass or whether it's run, and they don't have an elite offense. I think we do. I agree with you guys. I think we got an edge there, which gives me some. Maybe I'm being a little too overconfident. Makes me scared when I feel like that, but I agree with you guys. All right, let's go. The Oklahoma running game versus the Bama D.
I'm gonna say a push. Our running defense has gotten a lot better, and they have a pretty good running game. They've got a couple of really good backs, but I would call that a push.
Will?
Repeat the question. I'm sorry. Who was it?
Okay. It's the Oklahoma running game versus the Bama D. Who do you give the edge to?
Until I see more, I'll give it to them because we have trouble with mobile quarterbacks and their running backs look pretty good. I mean, I'll give the edge to them, but I don't think they're going to run for 200 yards or anything, but they'll get a few good runs. We're not going to, stop them to Leonard Fournette numbers against that 2015 defense. It's not going to be anything like that, but it'll be about average. I don't think it'll kill us though.
I think from my point of view, they just don't have an elite running game. So, Gary, I agree with you that I'll give us the edge, and our defense has played better. We shut down Ahmad Hardy. We got gashed one time by Missouri. We got gashed one time by Vanderbilt, or we really shut their running game. So if we can just avoid that gash play, to me, those are misalignments, guys not being where they were supposed to be, not symptomatic of they're just going to, like Will said, they're not going to go out there and put 200 yards on us. So I actually feel that we have the advantage there.
Agreed. Yeah.
Oklahoma passing game versus the Bama D.
Give me the Bama D on that one.
Bama D all day long. If Mateer had lived up to his preseason hype, we might be close to a push because that hype was, that hype train was off the tracks. But, as things have played out, Bama D for sure.
I agree with you guys, and we're prepared for dual threat quarterbacks. We have shown that we can deal with them and win. I feel good about it. But you're right. Mateer's the wild card because he's not going to get the Nussmeier treatment because he's mobile.
Right.
I mean, I feel bad for Nussmeier and what a beating he took. But, it's what happens.
Well, it's easy to, talk about things you're right about, but he's one I was wrong about. I thought preseason he was going to have a huge year, Nussmeier. So I was wrong.
Hey, we're gonna have to go back and watch some of these preseason ones that I put together about what I said.
I'm not going to bring it. Well, can I bring it up, John? Can I
Yeah.
bring it up?
Yeah.
I remember a certain young participant on the Bamateur Hour. I'm not going to say names. He said after FSU game, DeBover, and I'm like, come on, DeBover.
Well,
come on now.
You see, at least on that one, I was not by myself. The Garrett Nussmeier one, I was all by myself on, and I was right. There's
you
a
and
difference.
Stephen A. Smith chirping, man. Come on, that was one game.
Hey, but I wasn't the only one that said that. I mean, after being there and seeing that, yeah, it felt like Armageddon or something.
Yeah.
Fortunately, correctable mistakes. Fortunately, we have Ty, who was resilient, and he played. I will defend Ty's play at FSU all day long. I thought he played well. Thought he was other than maybe Brailsford, was our best player on the offense. He played well. I guess Jerm played a great game too. Those guys did, but there was just a lot of correctable stuff, and fortunately, they've corrected it, and here we are. We're on the doorstep of getting in the playoffs. Come on, guys, you got to finish it. All right, guys, this is a long one, Will, so bear with me. Can Alabama play assignment football and disciplined football on defense and not give up those big chunk plays and be able to get Oklahoma off the field on 3rd and 4th down? Can we force them into punts? We feel good about that?
I don't think that they're gonna score every time. So yes, I do think we can stop them to punts and no points. But the discipline part, I know we only had like 2 against LSU, but there were a few that could have been called. I mean, there was a face mask by Renault on like 3rd and 10, and it was Garrett Nussmeier trying to run. Like, he's not going anywhere. Just get him. And then Dijon Lee threw a guy out of bounds. Could have had a few more called. And James Smith, I haven't seen any from him, but we do still need to figure out the penalties.
Yeah.
I would say yes, and this has become almost like a signature Bama John question. I would say yes because it has the plural word plays, and I think that implies many. But I think there'll be a 3rd down play where we get semi-gashed, maybe, but I don't think there are going to be multiples of those.
I feel good about, Gary, to your point, about our ability to get them off and to limit those drives and not to give up the crazy explosive plays and lose because of that. I'm feeling good about that. Now, come on, Kane. Have them ready. I'm putting the trust in you. Let's do it. All right, next one. How about the Bama running game against Oklahoma D? Should I even ask this question?
Can we talk about another subject? Why do you gotta do this to us?
Next question, right? Next question. Said Drew Rosenhaus. Next question.
Yes.
All right, we're skipping that one. I won't even ask you all to answer that one. How about the Bama passing game against Oklahoma D?
Give me Ty Simpson.
He's our guy.
Every week.
Ty is our guy, and we've got loaded receivers. And I think they're all healthy. All right. Here's our favorite question. The head coaching matchup. Who is better? Come on, Will, say it.
He won't do it. He'll
DeBoer.
only say it if we win the national championship in the
DeBoer is the greatest coach in the
DeBoer.
world. DeBoer. Come on,
I
Will.
wouldn't go that
DeBoer.
far.
All
We'll
right,
see.
how about OC?
Nothing.
How about on the OCs?
Ryan.
Ben Arbuckle's pretty good.
He's pretty good. He's pretty.
You know, he kind of. I saw a thing on College Game Day with him. He kind of gives me some hope. You know, he was, didn't have a football background or anything. Goes and gets a job at some place, and just got into the field. It's like, maybe I could do this because I feel like I could. But anyway, I could.
All right.
They scored 6
it.
points on Texas. 6. Texas got a good defense.
Well, I mean, not what he's
6
doing,
points.
but how he got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a chance.
Will's thinking about his own job prospects right now, his own job career, not on Arbuckle in terms of being better than Grubb. So,
Well, if you don't join in the DeBoer thing, then you're not going to get hired as an analyst at Alabama. I can tell you that. You got to get in on the DeBoer
Hey,
thing.
I feel like there's some analysts there who are not on the DeBoer train yet either. So,
Well, they need to be.
yeah, I'm on the Grubb train.
Yep, Grubb over Arbuckle. I think Arbuckle's a good OC. I think Grubb's elite.
Yep.
All right. Now it's who is better as a defensive coordinator.
Are we including the head coach?
Yeah, because he's the D coordinator. Let's face it. Venables is calling the defense. He is.
Yeah.
He's
Would you
elite.
trade? Let me ask you that. Would you trade? And Kane's doing a good job.
Absolutely. I would
I would
absolutely
trade
take
in a
Brent
second.
Venables as your DC all day long.
I would too.
I would. He's elite. And look at how Clemson has fallen off since he left.
Oh yeah.
And
They're in a tailspin, really.
and,
Well,
and
that
I
was
do
another team that was supposed to be national title contending, blah blah blah.
right.
And then
And I think there's multiple reasons on the Clemson front, but I do think Brent Venables leaving. I don't think Dabo's found his replacement that can do what Venables did for him. And
It's hard to find a replacement. I mean, how many elite DCs are there in the country? 5? I mean, if you're talking really elite, maybe.
Yeah.
4. So
Well, think about this, guys. Think about how many guys Saban had on his staff that went on to become head coaches. And he kept having to replace. It was almost like every other year he was having to replace his OC and DC. Now, he did get to keep Kirby for a long time, but Kirby waited on that Georgia job. He waited on that because he turned down ball. But how hard was it for Saban to keep rebuilding his staff and maintain that level? That's amazing.
Well, I saw something today. I thought it was a misprint, but it's not. That the betting markets have Saban as the most likely hire at LSU. I'm like, you better not do that. We're going to tear that Saban Center down with a bulldozer, baby.
I think Saban's enjoying life too much. It would be really hard to go back into that 100-hour-a-week grind when he's enjoying life. He's worked so hard. He's achieved so much.
You know he's listening to the episode, so let's.
Oh yeah, Nick, stay retired.
That's right.
Be a Bama promoter. We love you on
LSU.
game day. Do
I
not
saw
go to
somewhere
LSU.
on like Instagram where he has the best odds to become the next LSU head coach.
Yeah, that's what
we're
Gary.
talking
That's
about,
what
yeah.
Gary was saying. Is he saw
He doesn't
those
need some
odds.
boudin.
There's no way he's going back there, right?
Surely not.
I mean, he's got a field name after him, and he's going somewhere else. No way, right?
Surely not.
I agree.
All right,
mean,
how
at
about
that point-
special teams, guys?
Hey, Connor Talty, he hit a big field goal to make it 2 scores at the end of that game. He's good
Missed
for
a
one miss a
28-yarder,
game, though, I
though.
think, when he does kick field goals.
He missed a 28-yarder.
He did. He did.
Will, serious question.
Okay.
If we had like a college game day reenactment tomorrow morning, could you
No, I
make
could not hit it.
28? You couldn't? Okay.
I in high school, after practice, we would mess around. Like I try to kick a football. There's some way you have to do like the inside of your foot. I cannot kick a football to save my life. So no, I would have to get somebody else to do it for me. Couldn't do it. But I will still make fun of field goal kickers who miss because that's their job, especially NFL kickers, a really easy one. So yes, I will continue to do that, but no, I cannot make one myself. I could
I,
punt it. I could, punting's a little easier, but that's different.
so what do you guys, are you giving Oklahoma or Alabama the special teams nod?
I give it a push.
Yeah.
I think I don't have faith in our field goal kicker to make field goals over 40 yards. So I'm going to give it to Oklahoma, but we've got a good punter. We're good inside of 40 on field goals. And we haven't given up any big plays on punts and kickoffs. So I'm happy about that. So I think I would narrowly give it to Oklahoma, but I don't think there's a big gap there.
Yeah, I feel like we got a Jeremy Shelley at kicker without the Cade Foster, which might be better.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, are we feeling good about our poise and penalties? Are we going to be able to keep? Because last week we were great on that.
Yeah.
And having the 12th man to kind of rattle them helps a little bit. Bryant-Denny, Rick was talking about the LSU game. It was kind of like it was so disjointed. It's hard to kind of get the rhythm of the fans up a little bit. I think this will be different. Big revenge game. We got humiliated last year. I think the crowd will be helpful there in terms of at least provoking some penalties on their side and making the differential higher.
So we're feeling good about that. How about I think this game is going to be a real chess match, guys. Brent Venables is going to be doing all sorts of crazy stuff, trying to confuse us. Offensively, Arbuckle ran that play that was illegal. Remember, he had the guy just sit there on the sidelines, but he was inbounds, and that's actually illegal to do, and he got away with that. So stealing signs. So who do we trust to make those in-game adjustments? Are we feeling good about DeBoer, or do we think Venables is going to be better at making those adjustments and just causing chaos?
We were talking about what's the best game we've had, and I said Wisconsin. I think we're going to see even more eye candy in this game than we have seen since the Wisconsin game in terms of, Ryan's great at the shifts and emotion. I think we're going to see some really creative play calling by Ryan Grubb because we are facing a very good defense. So I would say now that I would say is related to, but sort of separate from the question you're posing. But given Ryan is on our staff and Caleb, DeBoer's doing a better job at adjustments, I would give Bama the nod.
Okay, Will.
Yep, DeBoer.
DeBoer. Hey guys, we're battle tested. How do you feel about Oklahoma's being battle tested?
I mean, they played some good teams, I would say. I mean, if you just think how physical the teams are, Auburn's not a great team, but I mean, they're physical. Texas, Tennessee, Ole Miss, South Carolina's a very physical team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've been like us, I guess if you play the meat of the SEC schedule, we used to say, unless you played Vandy, and Vandy's terrific this year. So I think both teams are battle tested.
I think we're more proven than they are. I think they're battle tested, but we're more proven. And that would be my subtle. So I think the subtle edge.
Who's more battle tested?
Pardon?
Who's more battle tested?
I think Alabama is more proven. I think both teams are extremely battle tested. I think they've got the 16th hardest schedule to date, and we're number 6 in terms of hardest schedule. So both teams have had hard schedules, have played good teams. I think we're more proven in tough games to be able to win them. So that's my point, Will.
Well, and they really haven't won any super close games. I mean, you think about our resilience at Missouri, at South Carolina, at Georgia to have to really gut it out there in the second half. And I mean, that, their losses are at Oklahoma, to Ole Miss, and then Texas as well. I would give us the nod. I really would.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's make a prediction.
You want me to go first, okay?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's going to be, I don't think, and I'm trying to separate recency bias, okay? Since we didn't cover the spread against LSU, it'd be so easy to go, we're not going to cover the spread again. But I don't think we're going to cover the spread. And I think when the dust settles on Bryant-Denny, I think my final score prediction is 24-21 Bama.
I was going to go 24-21.
Go for it.
No.
No?
We got to get different numbers out there. Yeah, I think
Okay.
this line is kind of a lot of points. Maybe just because it's at home, but it is only one touchdown. We could win by a touchdown, but I do see it being closer. I think it'll be. It depends on where all the money's going. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But anyway, I think we'll win 27-21. There's people out there rigging games. You see all this stuff with baseball, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
No.
I'm going to go 24-17. I think that we're going to be able to eke it out a little bit. I mean, Gary, I agree with you. It could easily be 24-21. I just think their offense is not as high powered as I thought they might be. And I think we're proven and battle tested. I think we held some stuff back against LSU, and we know we got to win this game. So that's my prediction.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, let's quickly talk about the top 25, our CFP, where we sit currently. We're at number 4. I hope we is the 4 seed and have to get a bye and then have to play Georgia first round or in the round of 8. I don't want to do that.
Nope.
That makes 3 of us.
Yep.
I really do not want to see them in the first playoff game. I mean, it would
Because
just.
they're going to beat whoever they
Yeah.
play. Memphis, South Florida.
It's likely.
Well, I mean, to that point, Texas could have a lot to say about that. Texas.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of
Georgia.
shakeup.
Yeah. So it's going to be real interesting, but this is going to be a fun weekend just to see what kind of upsets happen, what happens in Texas, Georgia. Can we just clinch our playoff spot? But yeah, I don't want to. I mean, quite honestly, if I look at all the teams we could play, I don't want to play Georgia first. I'd rather play Ohio State first, to be quite honest. Let's get them out of the way and beat their butts and move on. But and I do think we still got a real good shot. I like our chances against Texas A&M. Let's say we go 11-1 and go to the SEC championship. I like our chances to beat Texas A&M and get that number 2 seed.
My only pushback is if you look at Georgia's record, if you look at their personnel, if you look at their coaching, I would not want to play Georgia in the first round for sure if we get a bye. But they're still Georgia and we're still Alabama.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's true. I would just rather see a different team, though.
Yeah, I'd rather see Georgia in the semis or the finals. I guess that's my point.
Yeah.
I want to play somebody not in the SEC, or if we play an SEC team, okay.
Maybe like an Oregon.
Give me I'd rather play Ole Miss in the round of 8 than I would Georgia, just quite honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, Ole Miss will be tough, and I mean we have to deal with Lane Kiffin, and he'll give Kane fits if we have to play that. But
Get your popcorn out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm not so sold on Pete Golding. I wouldn't fear Pete Golding as a D coordinator like I do Brent Venables. So
he didn't do great around here.
All right. So SEC standings. I mean, we're looking good to make the SEC championship game. You guys feel confident in that?
If we win this week, I do.
Amen, Will K. I was going to say, if our predictions on the victory, happen, then sure.
But, also, we always you just put out the name Jordan Hare, everybody gets frantic. I mean,
for good reason, though.
Yeah, that is for good reason. But you also want to look at, we've beat them, what is it, 5 years in a row now? 4, 5. You also you don't think about that. You just think about, Jordan Hare. And I mean, they have made a quarterback change. They also only put up 3 against Kentucky at home. So there's two sides to everything. I don't think, you should be too frightened to lose to them, but there's always just that in the back of your mind and the history of it. So
They played pretty tough against Vandy, though.
they did. So I don't know how to think about that. I mean, one week they put up 3 against Kentucky, and then the next week 38 against Vanderbilt. So who knows?
That's crazy. All right, guys, let's jump into the Purdue game. We got a big basketball game tomorrow night. I'm fired up about that.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on this Purdue matchup.
It's wild. It is so wild that, a couple of things. First of all, I've got a son. My oldest son, Charlton, is a student at Purdue. Been up there to West Lafayette a couple of times, and I think I mentioned last episode that the Purdue fans out at the Final Four 2 years ago were by far the worst fans. I expect some of that behavior tomorrow night in Coleman Coliseum. How exciting is this, though? I mean, if this wasn't us barreling towards the playoffs football kind of season, just this one game, and this is one of many. Now, Purdue's number 1, but I'm saying we're playing all these great teams in December and opening with, I believe, Kentucky in January. Coleman's going to be rocking. We're favored. Purdue, gosh, the basketball legacy they've got and some of the individual players that we're going to talk about, they've got a fantastic team. It seems like they do just every year. But I'm starting to get the sense that this may be Bama's year.
We're
Am I
favored
saying what
in
I
this
think I'm
game?
saying? I think I'm saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they got their core 3 seniors coming back: Kaufman, Wren, Lawyer, and Braden Smith. I mean we lost some last year, and that was in Purdue. And I wasn't really sold on this team until St. John's, and I saw them beat St. John's in Madison Square Garden in New York. I was like, all right. So I have a lot more faith in this team. So I mean, getting that win would be 2 big signature wins on the resume for March already. I mean, the first 3 games. So it'd be a big win if we could take them down.
Well, we're a lot younger, Will K, than their roster. There's no question about it. But we've got, and we talked a little bit about this in the last episode, is we've got some depth, or it appears that we've got some depth now that we've been lacking. And it's almost like cycling in the front 4 and late in a football game. We're able to plug and play guys that to be this early in the season, it's just like crazy that we went up there and did what we did late in the second half at MSG.
Hey guys, I don't know if you all knew this or not, but Kaufman Wren's listed as questionable, and
No,
he's dealing with an injury. So I don't know for sure whether or not he's going to play, and it just says an undisclosed injury. So if he
is that
doesn't,
psychological warfare though?
I don't know, but I just my point being that he really burned us last year. He was very good. We couldn't stop him. He was strong on both ends. If he doesn't play, that's a big advantage. They've got 2 big guys, but they're just not as skilled as he is. He's got those little baby hooks that he can use. He can use either his left or his right. He's athletic. So that's a question mark. Their 2 guards, Lawyer and Smith. Did you know Smith is on pace to break Bobby Hurley's assist record for most assists in a career?
That is so impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
the Bobby Hurley.
The Bobby Hurley, who I can't stand. I don't like because he's a Dookie.
Yeah.
He's a Dookie. He wore the wrong color blue. But
well, Purdue Braden will distribute the ball. They will play very disciplined and very physical basketball. It's almost like when you have a 1-sport school, quite frankly, like Purdue, that you channel a lot of money, energy, identity into basketball. We see some other schools that Big East schools that do that kind of thing historically. It's going to be a tough assignment.
So last year, I went and just looked at last year's stats, and there were really four things that stood out to me in that game last year. They were very efficient from the field. Purdue was very, and that stands up to reason because Lawyer and Smith, you give them an open shot, they're going to hit it. I mean, you cannot leave those guys open from it, and they'll shoot it from anywhere. They're not afraid to shoot the mid range. Hey Nate, they'll shoot the mid range and they'll score it. They'll shoot it from three. So those guys are very effective. So they shot the ball efficiently from both two and from three. They beat us on the turnover battle. And then they made more free throws than we shot free throws. So they got us in foul trouble. They're good at drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line, which Nate Oates is a big believer in that. So those four things are really what led to us losing to Purdue last year. And given that those three are back, and let's assume Kaufman-Wren's going to play, because that's the assumption unless we see doesn't come out in the starting lineup, they're going to be very disciplined. And that's Matt Painter's style as well, I think, is they play a very disciplined style, but they're not the most athletic. And I think that's where our advantage can come in, is our athleticism, our speed, our quickness. I think given our length this year and our quickness and athleticism, we may be a little bit more athletic and faster than them up and down the court if we just don't turn the ball over and can shoot the ball effectively, play some good defense, and not foul like crazy. It's going to be a fun game. So those were some things I was thinking about as we think about what advantages do we have, and then what do they bring to the table?
Well, and I remember being vaguely remember being upset at the refs last year. I don't remember what the call was. Maybe it was some Mickey Mouse fouls or whatever. It sounds strange to say that our defense played great when the other team scored almost 100 points, but our defense looked pretty good. And like the point you're making, John, I think is spot on. We have a more athletic roster. We have more length in the backcourt. I think we're going to be very disruptive to them, and we've got enough depth on the bench now that if we get a hot hand or somebody's doing stupid things like, half court passes, or, we had a couple a week ago, half court passes that weren't turnovers, but they should have been, kind of thing. Nate will just pull you and put the next guy up. That's one of the great advantages of having some depth. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game, probably not as high scoring as the St. John's game, but I think the athleticism down the stretch advantage is going to really pay off.
And Gary, to your point, I think Purdue wants the game in the 70s or in the 60s. They'd be happy to play a half court. That's their style. Work the ball, work for a good shot, dump it inside, kick it out to one of those three guys. They're happy to do that so it'll be interesting to see who can control the tempo. Can we force a faster pace and get them into an up and down game? Or are they going to milk the shot clock, work it down to 10 seconds every time before they get a shot? They've got a 7'4" guy who doesn't start, but they can bring him in. How are we going to deal with that? If he's got any ability to catch the ball and finish at the rim, who do we have that can handle him?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe Noah. We called him Sean Bradley. Maybe Noah. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Wilkie?
Yeah, maybe no one.
Bull Bowen, but he's so skinny. I mean, he's long and athletic, but he's skinny. So I think it's gonna be a contrast of styles and who can enforce, who can push and assert their will on the other team, and can we speed them up, and can we play fast, or can they slow us down and milk the clock and work the shot clock? So I'm excited. I can't wait to watch this game. I'm really excited. All right, you guys want to make any predictions? First of all, do you have any other things you want to throw out there about this game before we make a prediction and sign off?
Real quick, I'm just so pleased with how we're playing early. It just seems like in the last, since Oates has been here, and he's an amazing coach, an amazing recruiter. The system he's got is, gosh, it's fun to watch. But it seems like in like recent years, we'll have two or three games. And the fact that we went up and did what we did Saturday in New York makes me think this is the year has a different starting feel to it. And John, I think you made the point last episode. This may be the best team we've had. Like, compared to, we've had some pretty good teams. This may be the best team we've had.
I think they're good. Hey guys, did you all watch any of the Florida State-Florida game yesterday in basketball?
I didn't.
Did not.
Just to your point, Gary, we have a really good team, and I think we beat Florida State in that preseason game by 7, I think. I think that game was in Birmingham, and that was quite an up and down game. They only lost to Florida by 2 last night.
Wow.
Yeah. So that Florida State team's good. That was a quality, even though it was a preseason, it doesn't count on our record. That was a quality win, and they came out to play, and I was pretty impressed with them. So we need to count that as that just shows you we haven't played just 2 quality opponents. We played 3. Or I'm sorry, we played 2 quality opponents so far because I don't know,
like
North Dakota State and Furman. Go ahead, Will.
I mean, I don't know how you could be any better, but Florida is not as good as they were last year, obviously.
No.
No.
But still.
But they're still legitimate.
Yeah.
Because they have their whole front court back. The problem is they're having to replace their whole back court. And
Walter Clayton.
Yeah, Walter Clayton's gone. Martin's gone. Will Richards gone. So they lost all that backcourt, all those quality backcourt players. But anyway, just wanted to point out that that's another quality win that we have. Florida State's going to be a serious contender in the ACC. That's my prediction. All right. Any other thoughts as we before we make predictions?
Nope.
All right. G Money, you want to make a prediction?
Bama wins in Coleman Coliseum tomorrow night. I'll be there screaming my head off, so I won't have a voice left. And the final score will be Bama 83, Purdue 77.
I love it. Will K.
Give me Alabama 89-85.
I love it. All right, I'm going to say Alabama wins 91-86. I think we're going to impose our will on them and be able to speed them up, and we'll get the 5-point victory.
Love it.
All right. All right, parting shots. Anything else about football, basketball, anything before we sign off?
So last week I predicted we're going 2 for 2. I'm doing it again. I think we go 2 for 2 this week. It's a good time to be part of the Bama Nation.
2, baby. 2 big wins.
It would be and going 2 for 2 last week was really good. I think this would be a better 2 for 2.
Agreed.
Hey, and think about this. If we beat Purdue, we could possibly be that in the basketball poll.
I'd rather us just be number 2. We're fine. We don't,
Let's go 2 for 2 and then jump up to 2 in the rankings.
I love it.
All right. Thank you for listening. Please follow, subscribe, like wherever you access the podcast or on the YouTube channel. God bless and roll Tide.
Roll Tide.